So let's get into what is a self-education expense. So self-education as a term really just encompasses broadly like any sort of self-development, skill improvement, whether that be a conference, a CPD, a professional qualification, a course or study provided by an institution such as AIB, basically anything to do with work or learning or study that is basically self-directed. You might have seen this in AIB's brochure, but it's a great way to capture some of the key eligibility items. We spoke briefly about this in the deduction provision, but your eligibility will be dictated by your personal circumstances. So if you are in a role that's income producing, so that is just a fancy way of saying, are you employed? Do you derive salary or wages? Yes. Are you looking to upgrade your qualifications to help you in your current employment? If yes, then you may be eligible for the deduction. If you're trying to improve specific skills or knowledge used for your current employment, which was my example earlier, undertaking some tax-related study to improve my skill for my current role, then you would be eligible to claim. The other two basically relate to, are you improving your income-producing capacity in your current role or with your current employer? Yes, then you are eligible for the deduction. Where you are unlikely to be eligible is where basically your study does not relate, or your MBA does not relate to your current role. For example, if it's too general, or if your current role has sort of like no MBA business administration flavour, or if you're not employed, or if you're looking to swap roles or completely have a career redirection, then you would say that that's probably too far removed or too soon to be deductible under these provisions. So a lot of you have asked, what can you claim a deduction for? Well, broadly speaking, let's just start with your course or tuition fees. So that is, I guess, the most common deduction that you would get undertaking study. You can also potentially get deductions for related expenses like fees, student services fees, amenity, union fees. You can also get deductions for your textbooks, your stationery, any sort of like calculators, computers, certain travel and transport costs. So my example before was about traveling to another city, so to a place where you do not live, and so that travel typically can be deductible, and in that scenario also your meals and your accommodation can be deductible. But again, I want to come back to the whole, it will highly depend on your personal circumstances. So you have to look at where you live, where you're traveling to, what is the purpose of the travel? Is it solely for the education, or otherwise is there a private component? So there's a little bit of an analysis involved, particularly because the tax office loves to look at these types of deductions. Just broadly, like what you can't claim a deduction for. So I think this was also in the brochure, but you can't claim deductions for government assistance payments, so study, youth allowance, basically any payments from the government, they're not deductible. Your self-education expenses for new roles, new positions, new jobs, even if they're with your current employer, the tax office considers it to be too soon to be regarded as being incurred for income producing purposes. So with the current employer, I just wanted to touch on that. So for example, if you're an assistant manager or a junior manager or a senior associate and you're looking to get the next step up, but it is not materially different to your current role. So what that might mean is, if you're in an accounting firm and you go from manager to senior manager, what that might mean is you might have additional responsibilities, but the fundamental role does not change. Well, in that case, self-education is definitely deductible in terms of you're in your current employment environment, but your role does not materially change, although you're getting a promotion. In that case, self-education is fine. But where it's essentially not fine is if you're going from accounting into marketing and you're doing an MBA to make that swap. The tax office does not consider that to be requisitely connected to your income producing purposes. Similarly, if you have no job or if you're looking to get a job, the tax office does not consider that to be sufficiently connected to your income producing purposes. And then the private expenses that we touched on, holidays, clothes, haircuts, meals. I also put this in the self-improvement or stress management courses. So a lot of people are doing like, self-development, self-help courses these days. They are not typically eligible for deductions, so just keep that in mind when you're looking at your own circumstances. And the last note here, just to let you know that if there is a dual purpose or there is some deductible component of your expense, then of course you can deduct that component. And I guess you just need to make sure, how you're breaking that up or how you're divvying up that component is reasonable based on the nature of the expense.